Welcome to the Barstool College Football Show presented by Phillips Norelco. We are here in New York for week 15 of college football. It's the middle of December. It feels really weird, and I think this has been the weirdest week of college football thus far with all the cancellations. And Dave, Michigan backed out of the Ohio State game like you said they would.
Well,
congrats.
They got COVID.
Well,
we don't COVID shame.
We don't
I
COVID
don't care
shame.
what it is. It's the right move, whether they had it or not. And I've used this analogy already today, but for anybody who has seen The Patriot, Mel Gibson, he didn't fight the redcoats by just lining up on the battlefield like they expect. Well, 1, 2, 3, shoot. He's ducking behind trees. He knows there's certain ways you got to fight. In this particular case, if we line up and we play Ohio State, we're going to lose by 1,000. So I would prefer to use every available weapon we have, in this case, COVID. If you told me we weaponized COVID and gave it to ourselves, I'd say that's the right move. I may use that next year and the year after. So it's the right thing. I think it's a shame that the Big Ten now is changing the rules of engagement.
Does that take away all the satisfaction?
I love that.
No, I think it just exposes that, there's institutional chaos at Ohio State and within this conference.
I love that they're doing it.
What Ohio State says goes, apparently. But we did the right move because I would much rather hide in my bunker and not get my face ripped off than lose by 1,000 for the 1,000th straight time. So this is a no-brainer. You couldn't play this team. If you can get it out, you get it out.
Well,
if you're
and
get out of a
cancel the
war,
whole
you get out of
rivalry.
a war.
And at the time, it looked like you might have kept them out of the Big Ten Championship, which has now been changed because they said they needed 6 games.
That
Now
would have
they
been a
only
nice
need
cherry
5.
on
Did
top.
the right
I don't
thing.
want to play these.
That
guys.
would have been the ultimate win if you kept
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Big Ten did the right thing.
There can't be one guy in Michigan. I'm sure they're saying, "Oh, we wish we played." No, you didn't. You've been embarrassed on a national
I wish they played just because I would have won money on Ohio State.
I would have bet everything on Ohio State.
Right. They would have won.
I was debating wearing scarlet and gray.
Yeah.
So, Dan, you think that this, obviously as a Big Ten guy, you think this was the right move?
Absolutely.
It doesn't show that the Big Ten just has no clue what they're doing this entire season.
Those two things are not mutually exclusive. The Big Ten has no clue what they're doing this entire season. They've screwed it up from day one. Kevin Warren hamstrung all the teams by creating a season with no bye weeks. All of that is true. Ohio State is your moneymaker. Ohio State carries the water for the Big Ten. If you don't like it, tough shit. That's reality. Indiana fans, up my ass. Guess what? You played them on the field, you could have beaten them. And I don't want to hear, well, we only lost by 7. If you watch that game, there was never a time where I thought that Ohio State was going to lose that game. Indiana is a very good team. They've had a very nice season. They should go to a New Year's Six Bowl. They should get all of that. But guess what? Ohio State is your bell cow. That is the team. The SEC would change rules to make sure they get in the college football playoff. The ACC literally just did this. They fucked over Miami and canceled the rest of the season for Notre Dame and said, we want Notre Dame and Clemson in this championship game because if Clemson wins small, both those teams are going to the college football playoff. Boom, that's another fucking $6 million for us. It's crazy that Big Ten fans, and I don't think it's the majority, but there are some that are screaming about fairness and all this shit. Ohio State is playing on a different level than the rest of the Big Ten. Just accept it. Just move on and get your money, collect your relevancy, and try to get your team better in the offseason.
Brandon?
Both of them are right. I think Michigan was right to pull out of the game. That's kind of warfare. You just
Yeah.
But
go
don't you
ahead
think the SEC?
No, Big Ten had to do it. The
You
SEC
had
to
to do
start
it.
thinking
They
like
had to
the
do it.
Every
SEC.
conference.
The
was.
SEC
Well, no, the Pac-12s can't get out of their own way.
Well, the Pac-12 fucked themselves.
Big 12 can't.
Too far.
The Big 10 can't get out of their own way. The
Well, Big Ten's doing
SEC,
it.
yeah, I
Well,
know.
the Big 12
they
has
are.
no
They're
option.
As
doing the
of
right
this
thing.
morning.
Big
but-
12 would
doing the
do
right
it too. They just have no option.
Right. They're doing the right thing. But I was worried for a little bit there because it has been, like if you look at the last 10 years of college football, the SEC and the ACC are focused on one thing and one thing only. That's getting their teams in the college
Right.
football playoff
Right.
and making sure that that happens year in and year out. The Big Ten, we're not on that level. Ohio State is. The rest of the conference isn't. Hopefully the rest of the conference picks it up and gets better over years, but I don't know if that will be the case.
The only question I have, and again, COVID's so strange on when you sit out and when you don't, is if we truly had COVID and we all had them, we just start spitting on the Ohio State guys.
Why? Oh,
Because they
Michigan.
wouldn't be able to
COVID.
play.
Yeah, and then cancel their next game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, yeah.
You think you send some Michigan guys to Columbus this week?
Well, I'm saying if we had COVID
Yeah.
and we just infect that entire team, they
Right.
can't play.
That's
the
how
other
you're
It's
double
also-
fucked.
That's the other part. Ohio State didn't cancel the game. Michigan
Right.
did. I'm not COVID shaming, but this is a weird year.
Yeah, but-
nothing makes sense. Everything is on the fly. The Big Ten has fucked this up from day one. You know what the only thing they could do to continue to fuck it up is to say, well, we're going to stick with this made-up rule about the amount of games we played when Ohio State and Indiana already played. If they hadn't already played, I might feel different. If Indiana was undefeated and they hadn't played because their game got canceled, then you can say, okay, that's not fair. They played a game. I get it. Indiana's had their best year probably for, 30 years. I get that you're disappointed. That's just how it is, though. You played them. You had your chance. You lost.
It would have been crazy for the Big Ten to not change that rule because it would just fucked over the entire conference. But Ev, you and I have been talking all week. Now, when A&M Ole Miss got canceled on Monday because of Ole Miss COVID situation, I was like, fuck. Ole Miss or A&M?
No, Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah, because you think they canceled Ole Miss.
Well, Mississippi State played Ole Miss with 45 scholarship players, and Ole Miss has 53 scholarship players, and they canceled the game because they don't want to play a top 10 team.
So you think that if they were playing like Tennessee, that they would potentially?
If they were playing Vanderbilt, they would be playing this weekend.
So you think if Michigan thinks that, honest to God, if you think...
I don't think Michigan's pussies. I think Michigan's smart.
Well, I'm saying if you think if Michigan thought they could beat Ohio State, you think they'd play?
I think they would put a lot more effort into it than they currently are.
100%.
Yes.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
100% play.
Coach K.
Yeah.
100. They're ducking. We're being smart cowards.
Mm-hmm.
And again, at the time, it looked like they might keep him out of it. But
Sometimes cowardice is the smart play.
Yes,
and it's a petty move.
Listen,
It's a petty move
again,
too.
you don't. Mel Gibson didn't fight the Redcoats by getting on
behind
going
a tree
1,
with a
2, 3,
tomahawk.
shoot. Correct.
I just think that there's college football fans in general, it's hard for them to realize that when we're really talking about it, there's probably 10 teams that can compete for a national title. And when we're really talking about it, there's 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's just reality.
And we're also not talking about titles. We're talking about money. And the Big Ten is a
Right.
money-making machine.
So much money.
And Ohio State is what goes out and gets the bacon.
Exactly. And so, and I know it's not going to happen. We're sitting here on Wednesday, even though all the A&M players are tweeting the eye emojis right now like the NBA. But the storyline earlier in the week, Ev, was that A&M could potentially play Ohio State.
Awesome.
Now, I would like to say, I said this on Monday, and people told me I was fucking crazy. They were like, what are you talking about? It's not going to change. As soon as Michigan pulled out, everybody on Twitter was like, oh, A&M should play Ohio State. It's like, yeah, no shit, I blogged that last night. But you were okay with A&M playing Ohio
No,
State.
I would love it. I've said it many times. I said if we couldn't beat Texas A&M, no chance we'd beat Bama, Clemson, Notre Dame. So I'm with
Yeah,
it.
but
That'd be
that's
great.
completely dumb for Ohio State to play
No,
that.
now it's done.
Now it
Now
is,
that
but
we're
at
going
the
to play the
time-
Big
But they knew the rule was going to get changed.
But
They're getting a free ride to the championship, playoff.
But there was also and again, Ev and I discussed this yesterday, where if Florida beats Alabama and Clemson beats Notre Dame,
Florida beats Alabama.
You're bending a lot
Yes,
of,
I'm not bending. Those are
stretching a lot of rubber bands
Okay.
here.
But how's that
That's not
stretch?
that
That's not
crazy.
crazy. That's
Then what?
2 games.
Then what?
So do you leave Ohio State out? Who do you leave out for Ohio State in that?
I don't think
Clemson
undefeated.
beats.
Notre Dame. So
yeah.
their only losses to each other.
Yeah.
Alabama
Depends on
loses
how those
in the
games
SEC
go.
Depends how
championship
close they are.
to
Depends on
Florida.
Depends how close those
If
are.
Clemson kicks the shit out of Notre Dame with Trevor Lawrence, I do think Notre Dame would be the odd man out.
And Ohio State would be put in.
Well, it
but
depends.
right.
Depends. If
It
Florida
depends.
kills Alabama.
I don't
I
think it's
think-
bending that many things. Those are 2 games that could easily
I think
happen.
ultimately an undefeated Ohio State, no matter how many games, is not getting kicked to the curb for a one-loss team. They would have to pick one of those one-loss teams and kick them out.
Even if
Ohio-
both games were super close.
Again, well, it depends.
Right.
Does Ohio State murder Northwestern?
That's
Well,
why
one of
at
them.
the time, that's
I
why
just
and
sent a tweet,
A&M.
by the way, publicly
Yeah.
to Chase Winovich asking him if he endorsed the move so we don't get embarrassed. Because he was one of the all-time, we're not embarrassed when we lost by 100. Like
Yeah.
Michigan football guys, after they lose by 100 to Wisconsin too, but to Ohio, have to start saying, I'm embarrassed for the people who went to this school. I haven't heard one say that yet.
Yeah.
Are you
You're the
embarrassed?
one who stands up and says it.
Are you embarrassed that there are rumors that Jim Harbaugh is getting an extension?
I don't know if embarrassed is the right word. I'm more like
Shocked?
stunned, yeah. But it just
Ev like
it says,
Sign them up. Keep 'em-
If they
well,
give
no,
him
you
an
don't want it
extension-
either, Ev.
Why would I not want it?
Ev, have some dignity. Like you like this where you go and you know you're going to win by 100? You like that? I wouldn't like that. I like to play the game where it matters. It should be the biggest game, Ev.
I mean, keep up. I don't know what. I don't know what.
Well,
it's
that's
not-
why
it's
you
not
want to
on
get
us.
rid of him.
It's
That's
not
like
on
when
us.
it was John Cooper. I wasn't happy. I'm like, get this guy out of here. He can't compete.
But I'm saying if they're going to.
Yeah, but you want the rivalry to mean something. It helps you.
I guess.
Have some
but I mean,
pride.
I should some pride. You guys
No, you
backed
have
out of the game.
You want to keep
You
Harbaugh.
want to have some pride.
You
when
want to
you
keep
play us.
Harbaugh. You want to keep
even play
Harbaugh.
us.
You want to keep Harbaugh.
I wanna
Oh,
keep
by the
I wanna
way.
keep stomping on Michigan State.
By the way, you know who really won this week? Big Ev. Big Ev was so close to dying, he had no fucking clue. Because Urban Meyer, interviewing for Texas, Urban Meyer went to Texas. All that set up in Columbus right now that Ryan Day was left from Urban Meyer,
That's going to Austin.
That's going to Austin. So you dodged a bullet.
That huge 5-star recruit you got for next year out of Texas, going to Austin.
The strength and conditioning coach, the fucking best recruiters, all that infrastructure is going to Austin. So you're lucky, my friend.
All the shady people.
You just got to know that. You got to wake up every morning. You got to wake up every morning and hope that Urban Meyer doesn't take another job.
Acting like the world's his fucking oyster.
If Urban Meyer takes another job,
you should want a new coach. Nobody wants a one-side rivalry. What fun is that?
I'm good with mine. Ryan Day is good.
Well, you right? So stop being a coward.
It's not my fault. Michigan's got.
Well, you wanted to keep him.
Do you know?
I mean, yeah, I'll keep stopping
what I heard?
Yeah, why not?
Grapevine.
What'd you
I
hear?
heard through the grapevine.
Give me the Army coach.
I heard through the grapevine that Luke Fickell would maybe listen to it.
Ooh.
And by the grapevine, someone randomly
Tweeted
DM me.
I'll take that too. I want the Army coach, or I want Pat Hill, or the Coastal coach,
Or Luke Fickell, who you just said.
or Luke Fickell.
Fickell
You just want somebody else.
Because Luke
Only
Fickell,
this coward over here.
you want Luke Fickell.
Me?
He's
I
an
don't-
Ohio
I don't
guy
think
you're a
through and
coward.
through.
I don't think
Michigan's the cowards. You won't even play us. Lions
That's
are playing.
smart.
It's stupid. Gutless.
Ev,
Smart.
I don't-
Oh, you're calling me gutless too?
No, Michigan. Some would say gutless to not play us. Some would say that. Some might say that.
Ev, I don't think you're a coward because you were willing to play A&M and most Ohio
I'll play
State fans.
anybody.
He's
I'll
a
say
coward.
no.
He
How?
was okay with playing
How?
A&M, and that
Because you
made
want
I'm willing to
Harbaugh.
play anybody.
You take Harbaugh.
I'm saying-
you can have him.
I mean, I
Swap
don't want
coaches. If you aren't a coward, then swap coaches.
Yeah, coward.
The only way you can prove it.
and rosters.
Just switch the whole thing.
Everything.
All right, I'm sure we'll be talking about Ohio State later when we get to the top 10s, but for now, let's go to the High Noon Weekend Preview. High Noon Hard Seltzer keeps it real just like we do. Keep this game changer on deck for home gating, watch parties, or any day drinking opportunities. Real vodka, real juice for real fans just like us. Let's go to the SEC. LSU at number 6, Florida. Florida favored by 23. The total at 67.5. We know how bad LSU is. This is the number 1 passing offense versus the number 125 passing defense. Florida beat Tennessee last week, and of course, we know LSU lost to Alabama. Brandon, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, LSU's dead in the water. They're done. I don't know what's going to fix them in the offseason, but they are god-awful. Alabama gave up a couple touchdowns last week on broken plays. I think Dan Mullen is a vindictive son of a bitch, and LSU, Florida don't like each other. I think he's going to kill this team because he can. It is Kyle Trask who's cementing a Heisman season against a defense that allowed KJ Costello to throw for 623 yards. Florida's going to name the score. I don't care that they got the title game next week, so they maybe have to let off a little bit. No, Florida by whatever they want.
Yeah.
Kyle Trask does not have Heisman facial hair.
He doesn't have Heisman presence
He doesn't
either.
look like a Heisman.
And he also,
His little chin beard that he's trying to do, get rid of it, and maybe I'll give you my Heisman vote.
I've watched him now pretty closely, I feel, and I'm not impressed.
Mac Jones is way more impressive.
Florida is downtrending. I keep saying it. LSU is horrible. I like the over here.
Dan?
I'm taking the over, and I'm also taking Florida. I think everyone's getting their shots in, and Coach O, he'll be back. He'll be back.
I don't know
That
how
was
you
my
trust,
next-
The only problem is I don't know how you trust LSU's offense to go over in this game.
Well, if they don't, then I'll get Florida, so I'll split.
Yeah, fair enough.
Florida's defense. Yeah,
Florida's defense
Yeah.
is bad. LSU's garbage.
And I think, Dan, you're right. Everybody's going to try to run up the score on Coach O. And you think that he's 100% fine for next year? Or you think the hot seat starts
He'll
next
be
year?
back next year.
Yeah,
but
he'll be
I
back
think-
next year.
I
He had
think,
the best college football team of all time.
Right.
but I think he will be on the hot seat. If he does it again next year, 6-6, I think he's on the hot seat.
Maybe.
Like, did
Gene
Gene
Chizik got fired
yeah.
2 years after.
I do think there is a gigantic asterisk next to the season, and
Yes.
you can always explain this.
Also,
COVID.
Gene Chizik and Ed O are not the same.
Gene Chizik won 8 games in next
No,
year.
I'm just saying, like, Coach
They're
O
kind of
is
the same.
Louisiana.
Okay.
Like, there's a little bit of a, I think next year he's fine, maybe the year after. Like, if next year they're bad again,
And-
then the year after, then I think you're now 3 years removed, then you can maybe have the conversation, but he's okay for
And
me.
it's the style is bad. I mean, they're not competitive right now, so
Not at all.
that'll play fast. But it is COVID.
Yeah, and I think Dan Mullen is going to run up the score as well. Even though it's just beating LSU, Florida is still kind of in the mix for the college football playoff, like we mentioned. So I do think that they're just
They're
not
kind of in the
kinda
mix.
in the
They're
mix.
in the mix.
they're in the mix, right? So like they're going
They just have to beat Alabama.
Right, and so I think that they're going to just go out and beat the shit out of LSU. Let's go to number 9, Georgia, at number 25, Missouri. I have no clue why Missouri is ranked, but Georgia is favored by 13 and
Well,
a
they're
half.
5-3.
It's Missouri. The total is 53. Georgia has won the last 6 games. Georgia's coming off of a bye week. Missouri did beat Arkansas last week in that crazy finish at the end of the game. Dave, what do you think about this
So
game?
I took Missouri at home against Florida, and they got trashed. I'm a little scarred from that, but I'm going to roll with them again, and I'll take Missouri.
I'm taking Missouri just based on of history, because remember this game, Dave, you bet Missouri in this game. I bet Missouri in this game. It was like 2 years ago, maybe. Same exact situation. A noon game, Saturday. I think Todd McShay was up on like a scaffolding or something. Remember that?
No.
Yeah, you took Missouri against Georgia. Yes.
Davey takes a lot of things.
No, but you were. It was one of those ones that you saw and you were right on.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
It was like a noon game Saturday, kind of sleepy. I remember they were building like this end zone infrastructure, and McShay put on a hard hat and went up there, did a little hit from there. We both had Missouri. I think you might have had money line as well. They didn't pull out the money line, but they were the better team that day. I'm betting it just on that.
And it was in Columbia, too?
It was in Columbia.
At noon. I mean, it's in Columbia at noon again this year.
Okay, so nobody builds preseason expectations like Kirby Smart and Georgia with all that talent. The second they lost their second game to Florida, they started working on preseason expectations for next year. They changed to JT Daniels. He's been really, really good. Their receivers all of a sudden look really good. Georgia's going to go in. Missouri is 5-3, but they have benefited from the East being really bad. Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Kentucky are all wretched. Missouri's got a winning streak because of that. Georgia, minus 13.5. Kirby Smart builds up for next season.
I agree. Like I said, I don't understand why Missouri is ranked. I'm also going to take the under because I do not.
Well, everybody gets ranked this year. This is like everybody has been ranked. Every single team has been ranked that played a game this year.
I still think Georgia's going to roll, but I'm also going to take the under because I don't think Missouri can score.
After we beat LSU, we were up to 16.
Whoa.
Is it really 16?
It might have been higher than that. It might have been 11.
I would think it would have been higher than that.
It was very high.
They didn't start the season
And then
right?
we fell.
16 is not very high.
And well, from where we were, it was. You're right. I think it was 11, but we were unranked almost immediately. So
Well, yeah.
That happens.
because we lost Arkansas.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. I was
points
watching.
against
I saw
Sam
it.
Pittman.
Kentucky, yeah. It wasn't
2
pretty.
points.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to some more games in just a little bit, but let's go to concussion protocol with Roan in Boulder, who is examining the age-old questions: Santas with real beards versus Santas with fake beards.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
When did you first know Santa wasn't real?
Since I was born.
There was never any illusion for you?
Never.
COVID-19, the rugged bitch mistress that slapped around the year 2020. The latest cottage industry to be affected by the virus? Santas.
I think I have one job and one job only. To spread it. Spread happiness, spread joy, and spread Christmas cheer.
At the University of Colorado, Santa Brad is one of 500,000 seasonal workers suiting up this holiday. Across town, Santa Brian is setting up a call for some more serious business.
But I'll have that music playing. I'll turn it over to you, and then if you need, help with anything, just let me know.
Will do. I think we're in great shape then.
With early reports indicating that Santa business was down 90%, some Santas decided to pivot.
This light blue is a Zoom call, okay, which is new for me this year. I'm about maybe 2/3 of what I'd normally do. This year I'll probably only do about 20,000, but I can do 25, 30,000 easily. Non-December is $225 an hour. During December it's $300 an hour, except for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. 30 minutes is $225 an hour, and an hour is $375.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm in the red. I'm losing money. I'm losing thousands of dollars a year. I actually don't have any money in my bank account.
While all Santas are into giving, some are clearly more into receiving.
Need to be delicate about this. Not all Santas are the same.
So you're saying a lot of other Santa Clauses are only in this for the money?
Not, I don't want to lump all the Santa Clauses. I'm talking about a specific type of Santa Claus. The real beards.
While Santa Brad sounded paranoid, a faction of natural bearded Santas really did exist.
International Brotherhood of Real Bearded Santas. And so it's not just the States here. We're talking about Europe and other locations. We have Harley Davidson Santas, we have fishermen, hunters, business entrepreneurs. I mean, you name it. It's like walking into a room of peacocks.
And while there was a brotherhood amongst the Clauses, there was also an undercurrent of rivalry. The Santas with real beards versus the Santas without.
And if you're talking about the gentleman that goes down to the box store and buys a suit and the plastic beard, yes, I unfortunately call that a fake Santa beard and such.
Does this look fake to you? To a child? Would this look fake? Am I fake? Is what I'm doing fake?
You know, they can be a little feisty.
Are they getting off on belittling me?
They're damaging not just the group, but the image of Santa. Worse yet, they're damaging their own life.
We're more Santa than anybody that has a real beard.
Just saying. You know, we got to straighten them out. Yeah.
The factions had a frosty relationship for sure. Could the two sides find a common enemy in time to save Christmas?
We talked to a couple Krampuses. What's your relationship with the Krampus?
You kind of call them the black sheep of the family, as it were.
I don't even know who that is.
I'm a Krampus. Back in the day, instead of giving kids a lump of coal, Santa had a henchman. Kids are good, they get the gift. If they're irredeemably naughty, Krampus gets sent after them and they get taken away.
It's perfect for torturing children with social distancing.
Yeah, Krampus loves the taste of children.
Krampus, whoever the fuck that guy is, he's not my focus. And I have to take on one enemy at a time.
And while there were differences among Santas, the smart ones realized they were all coming down the same chimney.
I want it clear that each Santa meets a particular need in our communities. And each Santa has an amazing skill set to be able to do that.
I got milk, a half-open bag of Epsom salts, and disinfectant wipes.
Those gentlemen are absolutely amazing that they can take on that role.
What kid in the world doesn't need disinfectant wipes? These are gifts that I can afford. I can't give the sexy bike.
And they meet a specific need that's very special. What am I to say? That they don't belong? What a silly thing.
Now that they were off each other's naughty lists, the Santas could go back to doing what they do best, giving out milk, cookies, and spreading Christmas cheer.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house
not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
the stockings were hung by the chimney with care.
In hopes that St. Nicholas would soon be there. But I heard them exclaim, ere he drove out of sight,
Merry Christmas to all!
and to all a good night. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
All right, thanks, Rowan. Let's get back into the high noon weekend preview. Let's go to the ACC. Number 17, North Carolina at number 10, Miami. Miami favored by 3, the total at 67.5. North Carolina randomly played Western Carolina last week. That felt like a little weird game happening. They did win. Miami shut out Duke last week. Miami back in the top 10. Brandon, you shook your head as soon as I introduced this game. Why?
I just don't think Miami is very good.
I mean, their only losses to Clemson.
That's true. That's true. But I feel like they're benefiting. They beat NC State by 3 without NC State's.
Well, that was the mascot game.
Tuffy.
Fine.
I mean, Tuffy was worth. Watch that entire game. Tuffy, they did that trick play where everyone fell down, then they got up and they threw it. That was a Tuffy play.
Fair point.
Okay.
They beat Virginia Tech by 1 point. Virginia Tech is terrible. They're about to fire their
Dr.
coach.
Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, that team.
They beat Virginia by 5. I don't think Miami is really very good. North Carolina, their offense can score on anybody except for Notre Dame. I think North Carolina goes into Miami and wins the game.
Okay, Dan?
I'm taking Miami.
Dave?
Just think about the colors.
Mm-hmm. Great color.
It's a great color game.
They scream points. They scream it's a night game, right?
Yes.
No, 3:30.
3:30.
I would have preferred the lights bouncing off these colors.
Well, you're going to get it at 3:30. The second half.
You get to the twilight. We're going to have points. I'll take the over.
I'm going to take North Carolina. I have liked Miami this year, but I think that North Carolina is going to be able to score against that defense. And then let's go to the final game of the week. This one's really sad, guys, because we're usually in Philadelphia for this, the Army-Navy game. It is the first time it's in West Point since 1943, the first time it's been non-neutral since 1943, and our big show is usually there, the best show of the year. We're not there this year because of COVID, but Army favored by 7, the total at 38. Navy 3-6 on the season, Army 7-2. Dave, are you sad you don't get to wear your coat this year in front of
I mean, I love going to that game.
It's the best thing we do all year.
I'll have to go to South Beach instead.
Damn.
Tough. Sorry.
You're going to wear your coat there?
Nope, too warm there. But I am an Army man, and I single-handedly brought them back to prominence in this rivalry. Everybody knows that. And I love the coach. I don't want to steal the coach, but I love the coach to be the Michigan coach.
I thought you wanted to steal the coach.
Yeah, he does.
Well, yeah, but I don't want then the Army guys to be like, what'd you do?
But you want to take the coach.
That is correct.
Okay.
You want the coach to consensually be stolen.
Correct.
You want him to make the decision.
And even
to go.
Cons was a man of honor and integrity. He's like, I'd hate to lose him, but I'd be happy for you if you got the coach.
What a nice guy that Cons is.
So I'm going to take Army here.
Okay, Dan?
I have Army as well. Next year, I think it's at MetLife. So
Yeah,
I'll be there.
the 9/11 anniversary. Is that?
Yep.
Yeah,
So I'm going to
that'll be
take
emotional.
Army. It is weird. This game should be standalone. They should do this on like a Thursday afternoon.
You're right, because
usually is.
you're going to get screwed with people because when there's only one thing on, you're forced to watch it. I love Army. There's no, the Army-Navy game's awesome. Once the theatrics are over, it gets a little dicey.
What are
Not the
4 minutes
football.
into the game, it's a little dicey to watch.
But when it's the only game on, it is the best football.
what's the capacity that they're going to have in West Point?
I don't know.
Having fans?
I think
They've
they are
had
just
fans.
having the cadets and
Yeah, Brandon might be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could
Brandon?
be there. So, I mean, first time since 1943 it's
Yeah.
in West Point. We can't go against the home team.
Right.
First time since 1943, Army -7. Plus, Navy's had a really tough year.
They're
Yeah,
bad.
they're not good.
Oh, they
So
were game. They were gamey last week against Tulsa. I was surprised by that.
Is the pageantry going to be, you think, as
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cons said the
grandiose?
president's
Yeah.
going to be there,
Yeah.
and it's a big to-do.
We saw Trump last year or the year before?
I think
didn't see
every
Trump
year.
last year. I didn't
No,
see
he was there last year too.
I'm sure he was there. I don't think
Yeah.
we saw him.
I know
every
we
year.
saw him at one point when we were on. Oh, yeah, because we didn't go to the game last year.
Right.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to take Army as well. I wish we were there, but we'll be back at MetLife next year.
You're going to have to just stick it out at 80-degree weather.
Damn.
Sorry for your bad luck, Dave. Let's go to One Blade Trivia with Brandon Walker. Make sure you head to a store near you to check out the new Trim It to Win It promo available nationwide to pick up a specially marked One Blade Barstool pack, and you could win up to $1,000 to the Barstool store. Make sure if you already have your Barstool One Blade that you head to the store to use your credit. Brandon, take it away.
Last week's winner named Jake Ozer from Indiana. Hashtag One Blade Trivia to win One Blade and Barstool merch. The NCAA record for yards in a game by a team is 1,021. Name the team and the quarterback that achieved this. The NCAA record for yards in a game is 1,021.
That's what I was gonna
Name
say.
the team
Colt Brennan.
and quarterback.
Tommy Chang.
It is neither of those. Is not Hawaii. Who's that?
Oh.
Pat Mahomes.
No, also incorrect. So that is the question. It happened.
David Klingler, Houston.
That is
There you go, Dave.
half correct.
Oh, Houston.
Case Keenum.
That's half correct.
Well, it's got
Very
to be
close.
Houston. Can't be Klingler.
What's his name? Andre Ware?
yeah.
It is Houston in 1990 against SMU. They won 95-21 behind Andre Ware. Name the last player to lead college football in passing yards 2 years in a row. Name the last player to lead the FBS division in passing yards 2 years in a row. It happened in 2014 and 15. That is your question. Hashtag One Blade Trivia.
Ed McNown.
I don't think he ever led it, did he? UCLA?
15?
Yeah,
He was 35 years old by 2014.
just taking shots, throwing darts. I never said I was good at the trivia
shot.
portion
It's
of
Seeing
it.
what sticks. Are we good?
Hashtag One Blade Trivia. Name the last player to lead FBS in passing 2 years
Ty
in a row.
Detmer.
Happened in 2014, 2015.
Boy Detmer.
No, neither Detmer. That's your question.
Dan, do you want to guess or are we moving on?
Yeah, I don't know it.
Okay. All right. Hashtag One Blade Trivia.
No.
You can say it.
Yeah.
What do you want
No,
to say?
I don't know it. I don't know
all right.
it. It hurts me. It's
a good trivia
I
question.
want
It
to
is a
say
good trivia question.
that.
Is it an obvious answer?
No,
Okay.
Oh, it isn't? It's not a Power 5?
it is not a Power 5.
Okay, I was thinking Power 5, so.
All right, Ev, let's go to the viral moments of the week.
All right, the first viral moment of the week, Bo Nix. I feel like he gets talked about a lot for a guy who's not honestly a great quarterback, but maybe
Not a
the
good quarterback.
best 5-yard run
He's a
you might
terrible
ever see.
He's awful.
Horrible.
This is
but he does this shit.
in this 10 seconds. He was the best quarterback in the
Can
country.
he get good?
I don't think so.
I would have bet my fucking
Only a
life.
sophomore.
I had Auburn in this. I would have bet my life at that point that I was covering.
I agree.
No.
I thought they were
told you
gonna
guys
win
I
the
was
game at that
confident
point.
A&M was going to win and
You were
cover.
confident after that play.
No, I was confident going into
No,
it.
I know, but
I was
after
never
that
not.
play.
I mean, I was confident across the
That
board.
game was this close to.
Oh, they
cover.
won. They won.
They won by 11, but there was an interception that turned into a touchdown.
I understand they still won by 11, so they covered.
Well, no one's debating that. But
Yeah.
if you were confident after that play, then you got big nuts.
I mean, I was just confident that A&M was going to win
But
the game.
after that play,
I was just confident all day. all week.
You tweeted that morning you were terrified or something.
No. I was nervous. Like
Yeah,
I was
you were
like
shaking.
scared. Yeah.
Confident. You were shaking in confidence.
Yeah, I was shaking in confidence.
So excited about how confident you were.
Yeah, thank you.
You're just shaking.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Ev, moment number 2.
Moment number 2, this referee getting absolutely smoked in the face by a pass, Kansas State, Texas.
That's funny.
Does this happen more than it used to?
Or maybe
Refs
we
suck
see it
this
more?
year more than anything.
I mean, he's feeling the contact. That's his problem.
That's a complete. No, it's not a completion, but man.
It might have been.
No, he wasn't turning around.
Feeling the contact.
Do you feel like if that happens, they should be able to have the down again?
No.
No?
No, they're part of the field.
Okay. Moment number 3, Ev.
VAR moment number 3, Coach O got slaughtered this week by Alabama. He's feeling the heat. Maybe not the heat for his job, but it's been a tough season.
He was screaming at Bo Pelini multiple
I feel bad
times.
for Bo.
Multiple times throughout that game.
That's a tough one because he's going to be fired, and then
He's
I
a
don't know what you
scapegoat,
do. Yeah.
I mean, he should have never been hired. It was bad.
I don't think he's that bad of a coach. They don't have players. I mean, it hasn't been great.
They don't have experience. I think they got players.
Yeah.
Ev, moment number 4.
The last VAR moment of the week, maybe the most viral game in all college football this season. Mormons versus Mullets, BYU, Coastal, end of the half. Coastal roughs up Zach Wilson. The Mormons don't like it. Bench is
Really?
clear.
No problem.
I have no problem with it happening. I have a problem with it not being called a penalty.
Yeah.
I have no
That
problem.
ref's right
I don't
there.
either.
That
We-
second one, that's
Stay
gonna
down.
Be, that's gonna be
Stay
15
down.
yards.
Stay
When
down.
you're
He's
a
gonna
foot-
lay there the rest of the day?
Yes, Philip Rivers stays down. Tom Brady would stay down. Peyton Manning used to run out of the fucking place.
Tom Brady doesn't stay down. The others do. Tom Brady's.
He would just get out of the way.
No, he gets up and he gets crafty.
But he gets out of the way. He doesn't put himself like
Tom Brady gets crafty?
Yeah.
Peyton Manning runs out of the off the
Peyton
field.
Manning doesn't even try.
Philip Rivers will lay
Philip
down.
Rivers lays down the fetal position.
There's plenty of examples of Brady going all out on his interceptions.
But that
But he got pushed down
I know,
once.
Dan, you
don't get up. It's football.
Yeah,
What
get
are
up,
you
it's
talking
football.
about?
You gotta get up, it's football.
No, but if you don't want to get knocked down again, you're 2-on-1. Just stay down.
I think
Now,
that's
on an interception, on the defense, you're taught, go find the quarterback.
Right.
That's like
I
purely
just
football
don't
stuff.
understand. Like, you're watching football, you know it's a violent sport, you know all these hits happen, and then that happens. You're
No,
like,
that it's not
But if
the
you're
hit,
beat by
it's
you,
the
don't
penalty.
you have to fight?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
gotta fight.
yes. That's
For
totally
sure.
fair.
Yeah.
But I don't
They
think
didn't
that's
fight.
like. I'm not like, oh man, Coastal's dirty.
Well, now you do that level of fighting. That was appropriate.
I don't, think
I don't
they
know
were-
if you-
I don't
if
think
you
they were
see-
dirty, but I think you got to flag. I mean, that's.
No,
They throw penalty flags for way less than that. Way less.
forget it. That was a great game. I'm happy. They didn't
That was a great
It
game.
was an awesome
Yeah.
game. But it also showed that neither one of those teams are playoff caliber teams.
Does it?
I think so.
Coastal?
You think Coastal should be in the
No,
playoff?
neither of them were.
I don't think Coastal should be in the playoff. I think they should probably be higher than 13.
That's probably fair. Let's go to Phillips Norelco locks of the week. Phillips Norelco One Blade is the one tool that will let you trim, edge, and shave any length of facial hair. Big Ev, will continue to start with you. You're 10-3 on the season, having a hell of a season.
Damn.
Who are you going with this week?
Lost a couple in a row, trying to get back on track. USC, UCLA, over 61.5. I think we see some points here. DTR's back for UCLA. Slovis is playing great for USC. I think this is a point
Slovis
fest.
on Fridays, PMT.
Is USC good?
They're okay. No, they're okay.
They're pretty good.
Right. The question was, are they good?
No,
And
okay.
they are- yeah, I agree with you. They're okay.
I think they
Mediocre.
might be good.
I think they
In
lose.
the
this
Pac-12 or?
I think so. I think this is
I
a good
think this
game.
might be
I think it's
good.
gonna
week. UCLA beats them this week.
If that happens, then obviously they're not good.
I just hope that we get
I mean, they lost to
Arizona State?
Yeah.
no white uniforms. I love this when it's a color game when both teams wear their color. I think they always do, but I feel like there was one year they didn't. I was very.
So you like the garnet against the light blue?
Yes, it's like it's basically looking at a program from 1952.
Yep.
Brandon, you are 7-6 on the season. What you got?
Oh, you actually skipped yourself to get to me. I thought I had a little bit more time. I've got Tennessee is a coach, Jeremy Pruitt, who is coaching for his job. And he.
Okay, yeah,
What's that?
nothing.
I think he's coaching for his job. He's been embarrassed, but now he's playing against a Vandy team that is dead in the water. They've already fired their coach. They have given up. Those players don't want to play. Tennessee has to win. Tennessee minus 15 against Vanderbilt.
Is Sarah Fuller playing?
I've lost track of that story. I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. Dan?
I'm taking
7-5.
Louisville, Wake Forest over 64. Wake Forest wants to play fast. Louisville, by the way, can we
That
talk about
coach-
that? Scott Satterfield.
That coach has lost his mind.
That was crazy.
I've never seen someone try to talk their way out of something and everything they say gets worse and worse. So He interviewed for South Carolina on Friday, didn't get it. Then had to admit, be like, yeah, I interviewed, but I love Louisville. It's like, okay, sure, you just didn't get the job. Then he said it's harder to be a coach than a player because coaches have families and players are only here for 3 to 4 years. Like, okay, dude, but you get paid millions. Then they were like, what do you like about Louisville? And he was like, well, the airport is 3 minutes away, which that's my favorite thing about Louisville is I can get out of Louisville very quickly.
He's also 3-7.
He's 3-7. And then on top of all of that, he was like, listen, family's very important to me. I'm from the Carolinas. If NC State comes available, I probably will interview for that too.
Not great.
It was wild. It was wild. He just kept on going.
He wouldn't shut up. Yeah, he wouldn't shut up. Speaking of, what do you think about that South Carolina hire?
Weird.
It's underwhelming, right?
But okay, here's I saw your comment about it. If you're South Carolina, you're not a powerhouse.
Right.
You're not a traditional go get a big name. They got Beamer's son.
Yeah.
Spurrier and Holtz
Spurrier at the end of his career. I can understand doing this where you're trying to capture a young guy who was very well liked when he was at South Carolina before.
They love him.
He's a good recruiter, and he's got a little bit of that Lincoln Riley magic that might rub off. So I think he's taking a couple guys with him from Oklahoma. I don't hate that line of thinking, though.
Dan, you're between
Who are you going to get?
You got Dabo
Who
here.
are you going to get? Who are you going to get?
I don't know.
So
I'm not hired.
Then you shoot the move.
They hired Oklahoma's tight ends coach.
But when you look at it on the other side, who was Dabo before Clemson?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But
Dabo's 1 in a million, isn't it?
Yes, but my point is, you can't what would be the alternative? Go get a retread? No, thank you. I would rather take a chance that you're going to make
roll the dice on Hugh Freeze.
Or what about Jamie Chadwell?
That's what I said.
Jamie Chadwell's a coastal right there.
If they want to get Hugh Freeze, sure. But Jamie Chadwell, I think, will get probably a bigger job in South Carolina.
I think Jamie Chadwell will take South Carolina.
I don't know. I didn't hate the hire as much as you did. I think that you're kind of stuck if you're South Carolina where you're trying to take a shot at a guy who will then be indebted back to you.
I think if you fire Muschamp in October to get to the buffet line first, you should do better than Shane Beamer. They could have hired Shane Beamer.
I don't think you can put the verdict out on that. Just because, a name's what? Harbaugh's a name. I was ecstatic on that. And then you look at what turned Ohio State around. No one knew who Jim Tressel was when they hired him. So it's not always, the names once they become names, but certainly not every great coach is a name before they became a name.
Well, and his dad is a name, so that does help too.
Beamer ball.
Yeah. Dave, who's your lock this week?
I like Iowa to beat Wisconsin at home. I think Iowa's done with it. Wisconsin's done with the season, and Iowa's just always tough at home. I do think it'll be close, but I like Iowa.
Okay, I'm going to take, and this is a chalk pick, so I'm going to go ahead and say that before you even jump on it.
There's no such thing as a chalk pick with the spreads.
That's true. The Army-Navy under at 38. It's the unders hit 14 times in a row, so I think that one's pretty safe. Those are the Phillips Norelco locks of the week. Forget about using multiple tools. The Phillips Norelco One Blade does it all. Your style made simple. Phillips Norelco One Blade, now 20% off when you subscribe to replacement blades. Let's go to the top 10s. Now, the College Football Playoff Committee did come out this week. The top 4 stay the same. Really, the top 6 or 7 has continued to stay the same. With mine, I'm keeping it the same way. I did put in Indiana and Coastal back in the top 10. I haven't ever had Coastal, but I feel like they need to be there. At this point, the top 4 seem pretty solidified, depending on what happens in the championship weekend. I wanted A&M to play Ohio State so badly, so it could be a play-in for the playoff, but obviously that's not happening. So mine's pretty much staying the same. Let's go Big Ev.
Mine's pretty much the same as well. I've still got the same 4 that I've had, or the same 6 I even think I've had for the last few weeks. I've had Coastal in there. I've had Indiana in there. Miami said their only losses to Clemson. A lot of these are going to figure themselves out in the next couple weeks.
Brandon?
So mine is pretty much the same. I do still have Cincinnati at 4 just because now I just want to give that program a shout out. I feel like people have now forgotten about them. I want to ask a real life question based on this.
Real life?
Yes, the college football playoff.
Okay.
I want to ask that question. Why did two-loss Iowa State jump undefeated Cincinnati? Iowa State lost to Louisiana Lafayette by 17 points. I love Iowa State. I think they're doing a great job. But why did they jump Cincinnati? Why did two-loss Iowa State?
Because the College Football Playoff Committee doesn't respect non-Power 5s.
And they want to prop the Big 12.
That is the answer, but that shouldn't be the answer.
Well, okay.
But that it just doesn't make sense.
Taxes?
The Cincinnati Bearcats should not have been jumped by the Iowa State side.
I agree with you.
I agree with you, but I do think that it comes down to the fact that and Dan said it a couple weeks ago, they're propping up the Big 12.
Why prop up the Big 12? It can't prop up itself.
Again, It's all about money. It's all about, and by the way, I've been the one who's saying Cincinnati since day one. So why don't you back
Absolutely
off?
not. I've had Cincinnati.
Back off. I've been saying I was the one who said
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati over BYU when we had that debate.
I've
been Team Cincinnati for a very long time.
I've had Cincinnati in my top 4 for 3 weeks.
Johnny come lately with Cincinnati.
Incorrect. Absolutely incorrect.
Yeah, you are.
You're revisionist history.
No.
Senator, I resent that.
Yes.
Dan, the people's top 10?
Yeah, Alabama, Notre Dame, Coastal Carolina 3, Cincinnati 4, Ohio State, USC.
Wow.
Yeah, throwing USC in there.
What about
Iowa State 10?
What about Colorado?
Colorado.
4-0 against the spread.
They haven't lost a game.
Yeah, I know.
4-0 against the
So
spread.
you've gone away from that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the people's top 10. All right, Dave, finish us off.
So I got Coastal in my top 4 as well.
Nice.
Okay.
I mean, Coastal, BYU, whatever. They both thought they were good. That's a quality win. Indiana, I have pretty high up because I think actually of the one-loss teams, they have the most impressive loss. So there it is.
Their loss is more impressive than A&M's to Alabama, just because it was
Clemson's might be.
Clemson at home.
No, Clemson at Notre Dame.
They were
in
at Notre
overtime.
Dame. Yeah.
Without their quarterback.
Without their
Yeah,
quarterback.
but everyone says the other quarterback was just as good. I'll take Indiana. It was down, 30 at halftime and, lost by a touchdown at Ohio State.
That's fair.
6 and 1, half dozen the other.
All right, anything else, guys?
What?
I was just saying. I have nothing else.
No, I have nothing.
Dave, I'm sorry you have to go to Miami this weekend.
Yeah, it sucks.
You gonna be all right?
Sucks.
All right.
Do what I gotta do.
We'll see you guys next week.
One thing to remember when you're gambling on the Barstool Sportsbook app, make sure that you gamble responsibly, know your odds, know your chances of losing.
Gamble responsibly. Nobody wants to end up in a trash can.
You can play with Penn National, which is a licensed and regulated operator. Big words. If you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.